I try to be as unsexy a bitch as I can be when I go to the Kroger, but there's only so much I can do.
Well, as long as I've known you, 12 years and running, why fucking change? I mean, why?
And now, Cheez Wits.
There's one.
And it takes one to know one.
It does, and I do.
Where do you think the cripple's brother is?
I don't know. Wait, he's probably trying to log into his computer. His computer's updating, or the power's out.
It'd be funny if Wally was trying to log into MySpace.
Be funny if Wally ever had MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he didn't.
I'd go with no.
I would also go with no. Shall we text him? Should I ask him if he's going to do his show today? That's what got him all wound up last week.
Yes. Maybe Gail didn't set a reminder.
Maybe. I texted it to our group thread, so you can see if he responds.
I don't have that text yet. Now I do.
He probably won't see it anyway. He'll be like, my phone was in the car. This is becoming a habit. It's like things are reversed. You're always on time now, and he's always late.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
You guys are late.
We're late? I literally just got done saying this is becoming a trend now where Chris is on time and you are not.
I apologize. I was out in the living quarters and
wow, really an episode of How the Other Half Lives.
Right.
All right, you downstairs. This is upstairs. Be quiet. So Cheyenne was telling me about her. I was trying to help her open a jar of horseradish because she said, I cannot eat my steak without horseradish. And she was explaining to me she made a rosemary steak, seared it on either side in a cast iron skillet with some pads of butter and rosemary, and then finished it in the oven. And I'm so proud of my daughter. She knows how to cook. I mean, really cook.
That's great.
Not half-ass cook.
So no, you were not on MySpace trying to find us then.
No, I wasn't on fucking MySpace. I don't even know. Does MySpace even exist?
I don't know.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I picture Wally more of a Visco girl than a space person, so it's fine.
Hey, so I want to address something right off the bat. So last week, Chris.
By the way, I just finished listening to last week's again, and I laughed just as hard.
As
you should have. I mean, because you're as sick as the rest of us fucking are.
That's true.
So, Chris, we're talking about my sister. If obviously if you listen to the show, then you know what it was about, and my sister. And so there's a piece of my sister who's in assisted living, and she just turned 50 and 55, and then she had her birthday last week. And she's a whiner. She whines about I feel my blah 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 blah. So as I was explaining all of this, Chris did the old, I want to walk. I want to walk. It was much better than I'm explaining it. But my daughter, again, is a twisted sense of humor. She's very twisted like the rest of you.
Yeah.
And what you don't know about my sister is she also has a stutter.
Oh, here we go.
So my daughter, so Cheyenne says, she didn't say that. She wouldn't say that. And I said, what do you mean she wouldn't say I want to walk? She goes, no, she'd say, I want to walk. And then we went from that to her electric wheelchair. And suddenly she became like a hip DJ in her wheelchair going, wah, back.
See, now never seen it, sister. I'm now officially picturing Max Headroom in a wig sitting in an electric wheelchair. Okay.
Hey, I was in Max Headroom. I did that show several times as an extra.
Oh, I know you did. I know
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it?
one time you were Max's hair once, weren't
that was a fun show, and those were fun people. Did that show last very long? Was that
No.
on like just 2 seasons?
Did it get 2 seasons?
I don't think it got 2. I think it only got 1.
Boy, that was a good show.
I remember literally nothing about that show except I remember what Max Headroom was. I just don't remember anything about the show.
But it's so prophetic, right? Because that shows so much about like what's going on now with this artificial intelligence and all this other crap going on.
Which reminds me, I don't think I brought this up when I saw it a few weeks ago. I posted it though. The picture of, I walked past some Pepsi displays in the Kroger, and it was flavors made by artificial intelligence.
See, now I didn't see that with Pepsi. I saw a Coke flavor that was made with AI.
Really?
Yeah, and I still wonder what the fuck it is. Like somebody's trying to have like, garlic tasting kiss soda.
Yeah,
something.
I don't know why you would need no, you're right. It was Coke, because the joke I made when I posted it was that they learned nothing from New Coke back in the 80s.
Oh, so what are the flavors?
Hold on.
How many bacon flavors did they come up with?
I'm finding the picture. Hang on.
I can't imagine AI being too fucking brilliant at all.
Wasn't it like titled like Y3000 or some bullshit like that?
Co-created with artificial intelligence, tastes new limited edition flavor. Oh, I can't read what the flavors say.
Whenever they're
Y something thousand on both of them.
The Y3000. I saw that. There's a regular and there's a 0 sugar variety of it.
Oh, is that what the two differences, the two things are?
It is. And,
what is it, Y3K?
Or something like that. But the thing, people need to understand one thing, and I think we can all agree with this. Don't fuck with Coke. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, remember 1985?
That's what the new Coke. Yeah.
Oh my God. And new Coke tasted like, a monkey's rectum.
So
and then they go back to this original taste stuff, which wasn't the original taste Coke. So if you want good Coke, you got to go and see a dealer in downtown, or you go ahead and get the glass bottle of Mexican Coke.
You got to get Mexican Coke. I really cannot drink even the Coke that's made with 8 pounds of corn syrup per can. I really can't drink that because it makes me ill.
Corn syrup fucks with me.
And I throw up all that corn. I do. I throw up like this corn syrup. Like it's like a big throw up of phlegm. But when I drink the Mexican, cane sugar, no throwing up there.
There you go.
No getting sick from it.
Hey, speaking of throwing up, I got to apologize to your brother, Jess. Because
my brother?
Your brother.
Okay.
Your brother sent me a text. And
what?
And it goes into your people you may know thing or whatever, the whatever filter it is, since we're not friends on Facebook. And he sends me this note, and I looked at his name, and I'm like, this motherfucker from high school will not leave me alone. He doesn't stop pestering me. Has the same fucking name as your brother.
The same last name?
First and last. And I was like, this motherfucker. So I finally went in and read the message today, and I'm like, no, that's not the douche nose.
Dude.
So,
wait, my brother sent you a message on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
About what?
My gastric issues.
Oh, you know what? He texted me some kind of fucking medical advice thing that he went through. And I was like, listen, you are not a doctor. I will not be passing on your medical advice.
Was horny goat weed involved?
What's up?
Was horny goat weed involved at
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so I gotta apologize to him. I mean, this is your brother. Initials PW, right?
No.
That isn't your brother?
No, my brother's initials are RW.
Hold on. I gotta go look. Maybe this was the asshole from high school. Yes, it does. It was RW. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he say he was my brother?
Asshole. Hey, listen, Jess's brother still could have been an asshole in high school, so you might be right.
And what did he send me, Jess? You're saying it just it was just a long text about She thought I was trying to push some kind of quick weight loss thing to you. It's not. It's just information.
No, I didn't even say to him that it was about weight loss. I don't participate in giving strangers medical advice when I'm not qualified to give it. And I know my brother's not qualified to give it.
No, but it had no problem with you, Dr. fucking Wright, to send me off to the Smarter Science of Slim or whatever the fuck that thing was. And then we were putting manufactured cocaine up our noses in those offices.
Listen,
Frederick,
I've already apologized for that. I don't do that shit anymore.
You know what? My mother apologized for birthing me, but I haven't let it go yet. Okay. So
I don't do that shit anymore.
Good God.
No matter whether it's coming from my brother or the internet at large.
Yeah, and once a year, my Facebook memories pop up. There's two from you. The one is you tagging me in the Smarter Science of Slim. And then there's the other one where I left my Facebook open at the office and you decide to write, Chris Roth is watching Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah. Listen, I went pretty easy on you there.
You goddamn right you did. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Those when people post those memory things, they fucking always confuse me because I'll go back and say, oh, what? Wait a second. I thought you had a kid last year. You had another kid this year?
Oh, my God. Your mother's died for 3 years in a row on the same day. Holy shit.
That shit confuses the fuck out of me when people repost, because people repost that shit, those memories. Oh, remember this. I never see the remember this bullshit. I glance over all that shit. I'm not an in-depth reader. What did you say, Chris?
I didn't say a goddamn thing.
You said some snot.
I didn't say anything. I said nothing.
My friend,
voices.
You guys certainly didn't see this, but so last Saturday, when hell broke loose in Israel, my friend was in Tel Aviv, and he just got out. He's now in Greece.
Oh, how scary.
Yeah, what the fuck, right? Holy shit. I'm not trying to bring the room down or anything like that. I'm just saying, man, life goes on beyond all of this shit. And then I'm complaining about, I'm going to check out myself at Home Depot. What the fuck? And I see my friend saying, hey, finally got to Tel Aviv. I'm in Greece. Like, and my worries of the week were, oh, I got to fucking do my own checkout. Well, this sucks. Yeah, it's funny how weird shit snaps you back into reality real fast if you pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay attention. That's the big deal there. You gotta pay attention. Hey, Jess.
Hey, what?
I haven't heard you mention the stalker, the grocery store stalker lately.
That's because I started going to the grocery store earlier, so I don't see him.
I wish you would go just at your regular time, just to see if maybe if he's like sitting in the parking lot waiting.
I actually went a little bit later this morning than I had planned to, and I was walking out at about the time I used to go.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, as I'm walking across the parking lot, I'm like, shit, what if he's coming in now and he sees me? Then he's going to see the car I get into. That's way worse than running into me in the grocery store. But I didn't see him.
I just have absolutely none of that shit ever crosses my mind. I am so oblivious to the dangers of life.
Well,
I just am. And of course, you know what? I'm not a sexy bitch either. I'm just a fat old guy. So no one's looking at me going, hey, sweet stuff, what are you doing over here in Canada?
I try to be as unsexy a bitch as I can be when I go to the Kroger, but there's only so much I can do.
Well, as long as I've known you, 12 years and running, why fucking change? I mean, why change the fucking channel now? I mean, it's not a problem, that. I'm just thinking of this guy saying, man, look at that lady over there. She's touching the pepperonis quite nicely. I'd like to see if maybe we can go back to my house and maybe we could open a Hickory Farms together or something. Maybe that would be nice.
Hickory Farms.
No, do you remember now? I don't know if you had this here, but this happened to us in Virginia is where we discovered this. every Christmas Hickory Farms has like a pop-up store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they make the best motherfucking sandwiches with that Hickory Farms summer sausage.
Oh,
And
yeah, the summer sausage.
The summer sausage. They make a little it's a pocket sandwich with a little lettuce, some Hickory Farms summer sausage, a little smoked Gouda, and something else. And fucking, oh, what a great sandwich. Jody and I have never been able to find that pocket sandwich again since we left Virginia 20, 30 years ago. But man, I used to love those pop-up stores. Now they do still have the pop-up store here during the holidays, but they don't make that sandwich.
And I bet you walk up to the pop-up store and ask the 12-year-old manning the booth what happened to the pocket sandwich.
You know what? Those pop-up stores, at least here, the pop-up store is always, it's never a 12-year-old. It's 120 12-year-old.
Well, they should know what used to be.
They always have. No, I can't. You know what? I can't even buy from the Hickory Farm store anymore because it's just too expensive. Because I know what's in the summer sausage, and it ain't worth $23 a roll.
Mm-hmm.
It just isn't. It's all cow hooves and horse anuses.
Oh, you forgot about pig snout.
Yeah, and pig snout. That's in there too, but it's all anus, hooves, and snout. That's what it is.
Yep.
It's just a hot dog with a little bit of smoke flavoring in it.
I remember the last time I ate anus. You know, it was not the best experience, and although there was a pocket sandwich with it, Wally.
But anus is a lot like anus is just like calamari, just bigger rings.
You know, I don't believe I've ever put marinara on an anus, Wally.
No. I like on the anus you use the horseradish mayonnaise mixture with Thousand Island dressing sort of sauce, and not the not.
So
the
you want me to put Big Mac sauce on somebody's asshole? Is that what you're telling me?
Right, but
That's
you got to spice it up though. You spice it up a little bit.
The rules for eating ass. Brought to you by Cheez Whiz.
Anus.
Big
not
difference.
ass. Very different things.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. Analingus is a whole different thing than eating ass.
I do not even want to admit that I know what that means.
Analingus?
Don't know that I even understand what you're talking. I'm sorry, Chris. Me no understand you. No speak anus. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to even admit I know it, but I know it.
Well I mean, it's not far from Connie. You know, Connie Lingus. So it's not a far stretch. I mean, 3 inches away, right? If even. So
well, right, and most people can make that stretch.
I would think so. Unless you give a homemade episiotomy, and then it's a whole different thing. And,
Boy, this is really taking a turn.
Nobody really needs that. So,
hey, listen, Jess already said it. No medical advice on this show, so stop talking about the homemade episiotomy.
I didn't give any fucking medical advice. I just said it's a thing. You know what? I also said AIDS was a thing. I didn't fucking tell people how to get it. Okay? I mean, maybe you get it from analingus. Who the fuck knows? Maybe that's the way. No idea.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how we got there.
A lot of detours, man.
We went from ass play to AIDS in about 15 seconds.
And that's how it begins, Wally. That's how the HIV begins. Ass play to HIV, 15 seconds. That's what can happen in the real world. And I think as a public service message, we ought to let everybody know how to not get AIDS. And that would be by not licking an asshole with Thousand Island dressing in it. Okay.
If we move to Pueblo, we can start making our little ads for the government about all that shit. Isn't that where all that shit comes from? Pueblo.
That's where. Yep, Pueblo, Colorado.
Pueblo, Colorado. I always wanted to. There were certain gigs I would have loved to have had in my career, and working for the government ad agency. I would have loved to have worked for those people because they're all public service announcements. Man. Oh God, their public service announcements were so bad, and you would be set for life because there just aren't a lot of fucking creative people working for that company.
Mm-hmm.
You think Wally would be involved in the government PSA office, and all of a sudden you got Smokey Bear with his cock hanging out saying, "Only you can give blowjobs."
Hey, I'm gonna give you props for knowing he's not Smokey the Bear.
That is Smokey Bear.
It's Smokey Bear, not Smokey the Bear.
A guy I used to do traffic reports on a show in DC back 30 years ago. And one of the morning show hosts was, he died right after I got on the air, but he was the original Smokey Bear.
Oh, no kidding.
For real?
Yep.
I wonder if Smokey Bear and Woodsy Owl hung out together in the woods.
They could have.
Remember
You
Woodsy?
ask questions like that, and then you want to go back to Mr. Rogers and wonder whether, Henrietta Pussycat was getting some dick from X the Owl.
There's no way she wasn't.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? You know what really scared me on that show? Lady Elaine Fairchild. What the fuck was that fucking big red-nosed fucking cunt? My God.
How much was she drinking before she came out of the castle?
Jesus Christ almighty. It looks like a caricature of Ruth fucking Buzzy standing there in front of a merry-go-round going, and the kids might as well walk by and, fuck you. Okay? and then kind of, meow, 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 Henrietta, no. Jesus Christ.
It is kind of weird. They had like the drunk puppet on a kid's show.
Oh, it was terrible. And then you got King Friday the 13th, and with a castle on the fucking train tracks. Where are they? Guadalupe, Mexico? What the fuck is that?
They weren't rich royalty. They weren't wealthy royalty.
And you know what the new thing is, don't you? I thought I was fucking having an acid trip watching TV when I saw Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood come on TV after Mr. Rogers was done. And now it's Daniel Tiger in a cartoon thing going around the neighborhood. And I'm watching, what in the fuck is going on with my TV? Why am I watching this?
That's the acid, man.
And dude, it was a fucking trip without a trip.
So you were, what were you watching when that came on?
Yeah. I was just scrolling through the channels.
Oh, okay.
And on the TV guide on the screen, that old preview guide, it said Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. What the fuck is this? And I stop it. You hear, it's a beautiful day in Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. It was the same fucking thing, except it's a goddamn cartoon now.
Yeah, a complete rip off.
Absolutely.
And I don't think Daniel Tiger is a priest or a reverend of any kind.
No, I think it's a cartoon.
Yeah, I know, but it could be real.
It could be. I suppose that a talking cat or beaver or whatever the fuck that thing was could be a real thing, Wally.
I don't know Daniel Tiger. I'm gonna guess he is
tiger
in the name.
Probably.
Tiger. You don't suppose his dad is Tony, do you?
Wouldn't that be a trip?
Or maybe he's got my two dads, Tony and the Exxon Tiger. Maybe that's why he's got his own show. His dads were Tony the Tiger and the Exxon Tiger.
Henrietta Pussycat. Henrietta Pussycat. Her dad might be Garfield or something, right? That's a possibility. I'm actually friends on Facebook with a woman that was on the show, and she's got to be, I guess, near 90 years old now. But her name Betty Aberlin. I don't remember Miss Betty on the show or not, but she was somehow she's still alive, and I'm friends with her on Facebook.
How did you become friends with her on Facebook?
I clicked the button and she said accept. How the fuck does it happen with everybody?
Well, but do you?
It's Chris taking advantage of the old and elderly.
Yeah.
You know what? There's another one that's old and elderly that I'm friends with as well. Mary Jo Catlett. Does that name mean anything to anyone?
Mary Jo Catlett?
Catlett, not Catlick. Catlett.
No.
Now, if it was Mary Jo Catlick, that could also be Henrietta's mother. But no, Mary Jo Catlett was the third and final housekeeper on Different Strokes. And she came up as somebody I may know, friended her about 5 or 6 years ago, and the woman plays Words with Friends with me.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Do you know, I couldn't name a single maid on Different Strokes.
Charlotte Rae.
Charlotte Rae was the first one.
I don't remember any of them. I think I was so disarmed by the idea of what Mr. Drummond was doing with the two young boys in his house. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be worried about Mr. Drummond doing anything with the two little boys, but when Gordon Jump tried to finger Arnold that day on the show, that was, that was so great. I remember sitting at home, and I remember when that episode came out, and you got Danny Dark, who was the voiceover guy. Yeah, a very special episode of Different Strokes, where Arnold meets up in the bicycle shop and gets sexually molested. And then on a fun cheers,
Carla wants a raise.
Carla wants a raise. And then a very special My Two Dads, where the judge gets fingered by Greg Evigan. And then on L.A. Law.
Hey, I was in that show too, L.A. Law.
Seriously, every time Chris brings up one of these shows from back in the day, something
80s.
about that show pops up in my news feed on Facebook.
Really?
Every time.
That's good.
Yeah, like I sent you guys the screenshot, I don't know, a couple weeks ago with My Two Dads.
You're being spied on.
You think?
They are watching you.
They are.
It's so fucking creepy because I continuously get all kinds of shit about just like I'm getting stuff now about Subarus in my news feed. I
Subaru?
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 I did not search for Subaru. We bought a Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
And now all I get is fucking all kinds of, when's the best time to buy a Subaru? It's in the news feed. Here's President Biden does this. The Israelis do this. Hey, here's the best time to buy a Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? This spying shit is fucking nuts.
Yeah,
On a very special episode of Buying a Subaru, Wally might get a new car. And then in Gaza, people were getting killed.
Yeah.
There's your newsfeed.
It's fucking, this spying shit. It's annoying, but it's just disarming, right?
Oh dear, I've got breaking news. Jess, do you have the breaking news sounder? Suzanne Somers dead at 76.
What?
Yeah.
That's not true.
Just saw it. People magazine had it. On my Facebook feed, nonetheless.
Really?
Shit.
So for those listening now, Suzanne Somers died about 7 days ago. But yeah, Suzanne Somers dead. That's awful. She looked so good the last time I saw her on TV.
Yeah, well, the Thigh Master does a lot of good things for you.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So here's the weird thing about getting older. As we get older, it's this is the other fucking weird thing about being of celebrities. Chris, the last time Chris saw her on TV was probably something from, she probably looked fabulous and looked 45 years old.
Oh yeah, she's the sheriff or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. And you're like, so these people never age because you see them in these reruns, and the only people that age are us. You're like, how the fuck did she die? Oh,
and Jess,
20 years older than me.
Let's just note that we just named a TV show in the 80s Wally wasn't a part of.
Right.
No, I wasn't in any of those shows.
That's good. Now, if you think about Three's Company now, they're all dead except for Janet. They're all dead.
And she's doing country music videos.
Uh-huh.
And she was the least important of all the characters, but she's the one that's going on.
Was she the least important? Because she's the one that they fucking married off in the last episode.
Yeah, I never was a fan of the Janet.
I liked Janet. I always went for the brunette, and she gave me what I guess was my first tit joke, because she was trying to get falsies to get a bigger bazoom, and she took them out for some reason, and Chrissy said something to her about, "Oh, Janet, don't make mountains out of molehills." And that was my first titty joke at about 6 years old.
And you better believe in those days that they wrote that specifically to give the finger to the censors.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the episode of The Gong Show. You remember that fucking thing, right?
Yep.
The Gong Show.
So Chuck Barris used to do this thing where he would intentionally put one act in so that Standards and Practices could say, "No, you can't put that on TV." But one day, the act that he specifically put in to get killed made it through. And that's why you had the two 17-year-old girls giving blowjobs to creamsicles in the middle of the stage for like 2 minutes, 2 straight minutes. They're playing a song, and these girls are giving incredible fucking head to two creamsicles. Okay. And fucking JP Morgan is watching this. I think she got a little wet, frankly. But that was the thing, that he would put on things that he didn't think would get on TV.
Why was so I was gonna ask, what the fuck did JP Morgan, what was her, why was she on that show? What did she do? Why was she known?
Well, I don't know what she did before, because another thing, going back to when I was young, my father was quizzing me on financial things. He says, "Well, you know who JP Morgan is?" And I'm like, from the Gong Show?
I don't know what she did. What was her claim to fame to get on that show?
Please hold.
No idea. Somebody's going to look, and somebody's timeline will soon be filled with JP Morgan references.
Okay. In 1953, Morgan made a recording of Life is Just a Bowl of Cherries, issued by Derby Records, which made it to number 26 on the U.S. Billboard record chart.
Well, that's nothing.
She had 5 hits in 1 year, including her biggest hit, That's All I Want From You, which reached number 3 on the chart. Other notable hits included There's a Dream in My Heart, The Longest Walk, and Pepper Hot Baby.
I had no idea she sang.
1954 to 55, she was a vocalist on the ABC television series Stop the Music. In November 55, the British music magazine NME reported that she was the top female vocalist in the U.S. Cashbox poll.
What?
In 1956, she had her own show, The J.P. Morgan Show, and made guest appearances on a number of other variety shows. She was a charter member of the Robert Q. Lewis Gang on Lewis's weekday program on CBS, and was featured on a special episode of the Jackie Gleason Show.
All right, there's a name I know.
In 1960, she guest starred on The Ford Show, starring Tennessee Ernie Ford. In 1961, she was cast as Sally Dwight in the episode Money and the Minister on General Electric Theater, hosted by Ronald Reagan.
She was a B-star the whole
1964 TV show Sunday Father, The 11th Hour medical drama, My Three Sons. In 1966, she was on My Three Sons as a fading singer.
This is why she was a panelist.
In 1973, she played herself in the songwriter episode of The Odd Couple.
So she was just a journeyman actor.
She guest starred on The Muppet Show in 1978. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody with the last name did that. In the
and 70s. Then from 1976 to 78, she was a regular panelist on The Gong Show.
And during that episode of the Popsicle Twins, I believe she pulled her tits out, too.
It does say in which she achieved notoriety for flashing her breasts while on camera.
There you have it.
NBC banned her from the program following that incident.
Well, that must have hurt, right?
Yeah.
She was probably looking to get fucking kill me already. I've had enough.
You know what? And I'm thinking about that. I've seen that episode of her pulling her tits out, and I'm thinking 20 years before, when my dad was in high school, he was fucking jerking off listening to her fucking doing ragtime songs. So
he was too. He knew who that JP Morgan, she's a piece of ass, isn't she?
God, oh my
Chris, you gotta listen. You look at her, Chris. That's a piece of ass right there.
Hey, you look at that. She was the centerfold in Cashbox magazine in 1955.
NME called her the #1 fucking artist over here. Then,
#1 artist. Listener to a Swanee, my ragtime gal. Oh, so good.
Tennessee Ernie Ford. I like his music. He used to sing a lot of gospel stuff, the old Rugged Cross, and he always had these songs. There was one song he did, I don't even know the name of it, but it's about 2 kids who run away from home and their father runs over them in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah, that's called Everyday Life.
Yeah.
Ever heard that one? It's one of his best songs, actually, if you listen to it. Kids are going down the driveway and I fucked them up. See? It's awesome song. I think it was the follow-up to 16 Tons. Because that's what he laid on him.
Man, I'll tell you what. He had that big, what was that, a baritone? Was he a baritone?
Baritone bass. I don't know what you call it, but it was
big fucking voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he had a big. Jess, do you remember? You don't know who he is, do you?
I do.
You don't care.
I do know who he is. Yeah.
You don't have a Tennessee Ernie Ford story for us?
I do not. Never met the gentleman.
I'm shocked. I was sure you would have loved his tunes. I'm sure they would have been, you would have been just right there with that Tennessee Ernie for. I really liked him when I was a teen.
Yeah, that checks. The girl who swore she would never work in country music until she started working in country music.
Yeah, I was that way
And
too.
now
I would never
she
work.
Can't get out.
Yeah.
She can't get out of country music now.
Yeah, but you like country music, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. I kind of like it too. I like it. I like the storytelling aspect of it.
Listen, I remember making fun of you after you got fired from KISS and you went to work at one of the country stations in Syracuse.
WHEN.
Yep. And
I
think I was coming into Syracuse. Either I was going to work at my other job at the news talk station, or I was coming to visit you or something, but I was listening to you on the country station, and I remember specifically hearing the song Dust on the Bottle, and I was like, what the fuck kind of bullshit music is this? And then I was making fun of you for working at a station that would have a song about dust on a bottle.
I like that song.
I do too.
I still like that song.
I do too. But I didn't know it at the time.
Radio WHEN. Hi there. It's Wally. And there's a real shit kicker for you from Alabama. I can hear that.
That was David Lee Murphy, but okay.
That was there wasn't a lot of great country music. Well, no, that was a transition time in country music. That's when you started getting a more poppy feel to country music. It was really
it was a couple of years after that because when I got into country music in 97, so you were probably there at like 95.
Yeah, right around then.
And then I moved to Texas in 96 and started working at a country station in 97. And that's when it was really pop influenced, which is what made it an easier transition for me to start to like country music.
That's funny. 97. That was my first year at FRE was 97.
No kidding.
That's funny. Yeah.
I think 97. I think I was in Burlington, Vermont in 97. Yeah. I was in Burlington. I was programming. Modern rock.
Were you really?
Yeah. Modern rock alternative. I was doing modern rock / alternative.
Yeah.
Doing all that Marilyn Manson bullshit.
Did you find that a challenge to like I feel like right now if I tried to program pop, I wouldn't be able to do it because I can hear a country hit. I can't hear a pop hit. I hear some songs that are hits on pop music and I'm like, what in the fuck is that? Unless it's by Bruno Mars. And then I'm like, oh, that's a hit.
So the challenge really with alternative back then was there wasn't enough fucking artists.
Still today.
There's a number of artists and you got to fucking play 4 deep in order to fill out a fucking playlist.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you get, I don't know. That's why the Red Hot Chili Peppers were good already, but somebody like the Cardigans or something would have 5 songs when only one of them was fucking worth anything. But we got one artist that's kind of good. Let's play 4 other of their songs to fill this out. Yeah, no, I can't hear a pop hit. I can hear the obvious pop hits that are done by real pop artists.
Mm-hmm.
That's new shit. I can't for the life of me find it. And it's not all shit, but god damn it, you got to have something more than a fucking big ass and a fucking auto tune to be a song person.
Fuck, I could be a star.
I could be. I was thinking that today when I was driving. I said, you know what? If 10 years before big asses became popular, big asses were popular, I would have been a fucking superstar. I would have been a motherfucking superstar. Me and Fat Joe would have been fucking hammering the songs.
Yeah, Fat Joe and R. Wally. There they are.
Right. That's it. You got it right. Yeah, no, I don't think I could. I think I could do it, but I don't think I'd fucking like it at all. I could not stand talking up some of the shit we hear now.
You should hear these air checks that I've got from every year. at Christmas time. Julie's parents lived in Norfolk, and she'd never let me spend Christmas with my parents, so I had to go down there. And I would try and get away from the family because I just couldn't fucking stand them. So I made friends with a guy running a radio station down there, C104. And he said, hey, you want to do a shift? I'm like, I would love to. So I would go in and do a shift on the day after Christmas or the day before or something. And first year I got there, it was CHR, 1999. Things got good. Good tapes out of it. Next year, they're getting a little bit more urban. The next year, they're getting a little more urban. The following year, I had to open the mic and say, blazing hip hop and today's R&B, Z104, and here's whoever the fuck this is. I listen to those tapes and I cringe. It makes my asshole hurt.
You know, in Wichita, I was in a building with 6 stations, and for part of it, I eventually became full-time on the pop station, and this would have been early, so 2001 to 2004. But there was a country station, a classic country station, pop, classic rock, active rock. And then there had been one that was just a new country jukebox, and then they flipped it to Mexican. But
I could see you doing Mexican.
That was the only one I wasn't allowed on that station. But I filled in on all of the stations in the building before I went full-time on the pop station. And I just remember on the active rock station, because I talk like I talk, and this is not an active rock delivery.
No, it's not.
So I would have to.
What is no?
I would have to try to put on, because all of the jocks on active rock stations sound like they just don't give a fuck, right? So you have to like put on this slacker voice, like T95, here's Slipknot and whatever. Like you just have to put on this voice, like you don't, like you're just like, fuck it, there's Slipknot. Go listen to it. Whatever.
Right.
I hated it. It was so hard for me on that station.
Well, they had me on one station and then the next and the next because they realized that there's free labor that wanted to get away from his wife so fucking badly it wasn't funny. So I would wind up doing 3 shifts in a row. I would do 10 to 3 on one, 3 to 7 on the other, and then 7 to midnight on the other. So I didn't mind. It was whatever it was. And the first one, blazing hip hop and today's best music, Z104. And then all of a sudden I'm across the hall. And here's George Michael and Wham with Last Christmas on 2WD. And then I'll go across the hall and do another one. And I don't even remember the fucking artist, but it was an active rock station called The Point. And I was like, Jesus, fuck, what am I even doing? What am I?
Yeah, I tried to stay within a couple of formats. I did not like the switching back and forth through formats because I had trouble doing the well, it was like when I was in Virginia. Put on, you got to sound more country. You got to put some twang in your voice. I just can't do it. I'm no good at it because I sound like I'm no good at it.
I will say you pointed that out to me when I called that Walmart lady, and she was all Southern, and suddenly I put on a little bit.
Yeah.
When that was a defense mechanism from when I was in Texas, because people would call and yell at me for the way I said words.
Yeah,
they didn't care what I was saying. They would just, East Texas is, well, proud of being East Texas. I'm just gonna say they're proud of being East Texas. And at the time that I lived there in the mid 90s, so that was 97. That was the first country station I worked at. It was in Tyler, Texas, and they hated me because I was a Yankee. And at that time, they still had shit like they would say things like, you know, happiness is a Yankee on a northbound bus. We had, the house that I lived in was in the woods, and there were scorpions that would get into the house. And I tried to look up on the internet how to get rid of scorpions. And of course the internet was like 5 minutes old at that point. And the only thing I could find was that scorpions were there first. And if they sent one more Yankee back home, all the better. Like they hated Yankees. And so it was a defense mechanism for me to put on a little bit of an accent. And then I got up to Pennsylvania, and they don't, you know, northeastern Pennsylvania, they say use guys. And I picked up.
That's very New York.
Huh?
That's very Utica, New York.
Yeah. And I picked up a little bit of that. And then my boss who hired me here, he was from California. He literally thought I was from the South. He was like, wait a minute, I hired a Yankee to do this, to oversee country music here. And I was like, we listen to country music in the North too.
We do. We listen to Western also.
We got both kinds.
Yeah, yes, we do. Chris, when were you in Norfolk?
That was anytime between 98 and 05.
Oh, I turned down a gig in Norfolk at WGN. The WGN. They didn't exist anymore. Not WGN.
WGH.
WGH.
The country station. The Eagle.
This is when it was on 1310. You're thinking?
No, it was a big FM flamethrower when they offered me a job. It was a big country FM flamethrower.
They still are.
Still there. It's still there. It's called the Eagle now.
It's the Eagle.
Yeah, I turned down that gig, but it was a good thing I did, because 3 weeks after they offered me the gig, and I decided no, because Jody was pregnant, and I decided not to take the gig because it was kind of a big move for us. That station was sold, I think, to Susquehanna Radio, and they fired everybody and brought in a whole new
had it, and then it was
Max Media
who got it. Max Media owns it now, but they've only owned it for about 10 years or so. It was another company that it before.
I don't remember if Susquehanna sold it or they bought it.
Local guy down there.
I do know that a friend of mine was the PD for like years and years and years, and they let him go recently, like a couple years ago. Mark McKay.
Oh, McKay, I didn't know. I knew John Shambi from down there.
So John was the vice president of programming. He got fired before Mark did.
Yeah, I got offered that job.
Right, he's doing okay. He's doing like sportscast hours.
Yeah, and Shambi's down here now. He's working with like Apple Music or something.
Very good.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
All these little, all this fucking, those were huge. I don't think any of that I don't look at any stations now for the most part and say, wow, that's that station to emulate.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
No.
There's what? You cut out.
No, I'm saying there's not. There's nothing that to emulate anymore.
No, there's nothing you look at and say, man, that's the fucking standard bearer right there.
Mm.
You know, because all through time, there's always been, for a while, Scott Shannon was the fucking balls as it came to if you wanted a program director. For me, when I was a young guy, Kiss 108 in Boston, that station was the fucking epitome of what a CHR station should be.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Maddie in the Morning is coming back.
Fucking Maddie in the Morning and Dale Dorman and all those, Sonny Joe White, all those fucking guys. And
apparently Maddie's got a gig coming up. He thought he was retired, and now he's getting.
Really?
Just read it on Twitter the other day. Yeah.
Isn't he like fucking 80?
Has to be.
He's got to be close.
Is it the same Maddie? Because there's another guy who goes by.
Kiss 108. Yeah, the guy from Kiss 108.
Huh.
It was Maddie in the Morning. I think the morning with Maddie and Lisa Lips, I think, was his sidekick. And
I believe so. Yeah.
Person. And then Sonny Joe. I think Sonny Joe was the program director. He was.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah, Sonny Joe White, and that was the reason why that station. Why I look at it now, look back on it, and say the fucking station was cutting, because you knew Sonny Joe White was gay, and it wasn't hidden, and it was fucking, it wasn't like you had to hide who you were. They didn't fucking care. He was good at what he did and was okay. The night person was also a gay, a lesbian. What was her name? The real Sharon. Was it the real? No, what was her fucking name? Diana. I just lost Diana Steele. And then Uncle Dale was on there. Dale Dorman was on there, who was also a TV guy. But that whole fucking station was full of people from different places that just meshed. And that fucking station lots of stations tried to emulate it, but just couldn't. But that was the standard bearer. That's who you went up to. Hey, where did Jess go? Where's Chris?
I'm here.
Where's Jess?
She's gone?
Yeah, look at you. See her?
Hold on 1 second. I can't. My thing.
I see a shadow. I see Jess's shadow.
I see Jess.
I'm here.
Where did you go?
I had to go break up a dog fight.
I didn't even hear them.
Well, I did.
Why did they get mad at each other and squabble?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what does their dog fight look like? Or is it just a, you son of a bitch?
Basically, they don't hurt each other.
Do they grab a hold of each other?
Usually only when they're playing, but what usually happens is the bigger one gets mad and barks at the littler one, and then the littler one is like, bitch, no, you didn't, and then she goes after him. So
Can you imagine one just looks at the other and says, what the fuck did you just say to me?
that basically happens. Yeah.
What the fuck did you just, you know who I am?
But that would be, I guess maybe if I ever had a superhero thing I could do, I'd love to be able to talk to be Dr. Wally Little.
They're doing it again. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, what is that? What are those headphones Jess has in the back? Is that a Mr. Microphone Jess has back there?
It looks like it.
Do you see? What the fuck is that?
I
It's
don't
just doing like Squad 51, Engine 42. It looks like she's got like a 911 operator's outfit back there. What is
Well,
that?
maybe that's Halloween.
I mean, those look a little bit like Pro 4As, right?
A little bit. I'm not sure if they are, though.
Jess, what kind of headphones are those back there?
These?
Yeah.
They are realistic.
Oh, you couldn't kill anybody with them.
No, you couldn't.
The
Cost.
Pro 4As, you could kill somebody
They're
with those.
COS, custom
Oh, yeah.
pro realistic, made in the USA.
And what do they weigh? About 3 pounds?
Yeah, they're actually pretty light.
Yeah. Pro 4As, that would be about 18 pounds.
These
of a
are
headphone.
I think they were either my dad's or my uncle's.
Ah.
And they go with my little old school mic.
Yeah, we were looking at those. I wonder if you were doing like 911 dispatch or something back there. That's what I thought. Is that a real microphone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, this is Jess, Breaker 99, Breaker 99.
Come back, Big Tommy. Come back, Big Tommy.
We just want to see you over here, honey.
How you out there? Watch out for them Smokey Bears out at mile marker 19.
See, now that's how she secretly communicates with a guy up at the grocery store. She gets in there into her ham shack and it's like, babe, come on, ... dash.
Dash, dash.
Yeah, because what I really want is a secret way to communicate with my stalker.
You're goddamn right you do.
So I've been listening to the shows and I was keeping a log of them. And then I bought the car. And then I lost my whole log and I have to start listening to them over again.
No.
So I have to start all the fuck over again.
What did
because
you
I don't
do?
have log.
Sell the log with the car just to
No,
up the
when I-
price, the value of the
When I
car?
cleaned out the car. I just tried to, throw this shit away. Because I sort of have the same kind of car. My car generally looks like that of a fucking door-to-door brush salesman. It's just full of wrappers and Dunkin' Donut cups. By the way, Dunkin' Donuts, I miss, though I know I shouldn't miss it, I miss styrofoam cups.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, me too.
I fucking so miss a Dunkin' Donuts styrofoam, keep it hot all day cup. Because those fucking paper cups, I get it. I get out of the car, come back 10 minutes later, the coffee's cold.
I feel like I had a coffee meeting at a Dunkin' Donuts a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like they gave me my coffee in a styrofoam cup.
Shut the fuck up.
Now I'm going
you
to
know
have to
what?
go
And-
back and make sure.
The
I
chicken
long
joint
for the
around here
styrofoam.
does styrofoam.
Do what?
Chick-fil-A still does. Chick-fil-A still does around here.
I long for a good styrofoam cup that keeps coffee hot.
Yeah.
Because they have not fucking made a paper cup yet that can keep a coffee hot. Somehow they'll come up with some sort of double-walled air seal in between cup eventually. But right now, seriously, the coffee's not nearly as hot even when you get it. I used to like the coffee that if you spilled it in your lap, you burned your genitals.
Yeah, but
I
they
like
didn't
that.
like the lawsuits because
No, they
people
didn't.
didn't know the coffee was going to be hot.
Yeah, because they're fucking.
Well, that's the thing. People, you know what? And that's why all these places have iced coffee now. We finally have the genesis of iced coffee. It was the lawyers trying to get rid of the lawsuits.
Yeah. But just fucking now. To be honest, McDonald's coffee, because that's the one we're talking. You're talking. That's who got sued. McDonald's. Their coffee is fucking insanely hot.
Yeah, that's true.
It's too hot. Because if I'm not completely sure, but I think the perfect cup of coffee is like 203 degrees or something like that. It's before boiling. I'm convinced McDonald's boils their coffee before they give it to you.
Probably.
Because it doesn't taste good and it's fucking so hot.
That's why they call it a steaming cup of Joe.
Yeah, there's a steaming something because their coffee tastes like shit.
There's a steaming fuck here, sir.
It is just bad coffee, but Dunkin' Donuts coffee, it's just some kind of good.
It is.
It's better than the Starbucks, than the Roma Joe's. I don't know what Seattle's Best.
Aroma
the other ones
Joe's.
are.
What the fuck is Aroma Joe?
That's a place in the Northeast.
Jesus
Aroma
Christ.
Joe's.
That sounds like something around Al Molinero's asshole. That's what that sounds like.
Al Molinaro.
But you know, it's funny. The person that I had the coffee meeting with, it was Brad who filled in on the.
Oh, Brad.
Well, filled in, but then Chris showed up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show where I was dead.
The show where you were dead, but you were
Yes.
there. And Brad joined us so it was him, and he is not from the Northeast, but he did radio long enough in the Northeast that he became a fan of Dunkin'. And so as many yuppie coffee shops as there are in the greater Nashville area, there was a Dunkin' that's about midway between where he lives and where I live. And I was like, can we go to Dunkin'? And he was like, yes, we can.
Yeah. Dunkin'. What's the one out of? Tim Hortons. Shitty coffee.
I've never had Tim Hortons.
Timmy's. Timmy's is good food. I like Timmy's.
I always thought
The food is
until
good.
talking to you, Wally, I thought Tim Hortons was only in Canada.
Well, it's mostly in Canada, and we used to have some here in Maine because it is very Canada-like.
Because
but
it's
there are
almost
none
Canada.
left. Yeah, there are none left.
Mm.
That
God, was that Ann Wilson or Ann Wilson and Mike Reno?
Almost.
Who?
Almost
Paradise.
Yes.
I don't know if there are any more Tim Hortons in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely.
Are there?
They're Pittsburgh, Buffalo.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo, I believe, but we had several here. Yeah, because we even have a part not far from it. It's called Little Canada. But the Tim Hortons are all gone. And you know why? Because all the fucking French Canadians are too old and they started dying. And that's the only people who are going to Tim Hortons. Because Tim Hortons was still a pretty good place to go sit at. They had a nice glass mug or a porcelain mug that they served their coffee in.
Mm.
And their donuts are pretty good. And they had some decent sandwiches. Chris is right. The food is pretty decent.
They used to have
like
a frozen hot chocolate that I liked. And I know frozen hot chocolate's a weird thing to say, but
No.
they used to have it.
No,
But
it's
then
good.
I asked someone about the frozen hot chocolate, and they're like, "The fuck are you talking about?" So I'm like, "All right, I'm leaving."
What is frozen hot chocolate? It sounds like a milkshake.
It's basically hot chocolate, the ingredients of hot chocolate over ice.
The flavor of hot chocolate. So you know how hot chocolate has that certain flavor to it. There's a thing about hot chocolate there's an undertone of vanilla in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That hot chocolate. So they were able to perfect a cold one that's not just chocolate milk, but tastes like and has a little frothy thing going on with
Got it.
And it's got a Chris. I'm going to use this word that I use quite often. It had a viscosity to it. Correct.
Viscosity. It did have a viscosity.
It has a viscosity to it.
And I was about to say, so does my dick. That's the most amazing thing, Wally.
It has a It's almost like we've fucking done a few shows together. That we know you're going to go to viscosity so fast.
Hey, I have been called a cocksucker, so that's fine. We all know. We all know.
Well, I've been called a cock. Jess, you ever been called that?
Probably by Chris.
No, listen, bitch. I've never called you a cocksucker. Jesus Christ.
Well, you wouldn't be, because in that world, calling a girl a cocksucker would be sort of a compliment.
You would
right?
just be calling her a whore at that point.
Right. And
Wait a
calling
minute.
guy
Hold on one
cocksucker, you're saying you're a fucking
No, when you're calling a guy a cocksucker,
you're a gay guy.
you're saying
And I
you're
like
gay
gay
as if
guys.
there's something wrong with being gay.
Yes, exactly. Correct.
Hey, listen.
You're calling him
you,
the F. You're using the F word without using the F word.
you want to suck a dick? Suck a dick. I don't care. Do you want to suck mine? If you want to suck mine, we have a problem. Other than that, I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. You want to be gay? Be gay. I don't give a fuck. You want to be in love? Get married? It's fine. You want to marry me? That's an issue. Okay.
Is it an issue, or is it just a flattering no thank you?
No. It's homophobia, Jess. That's all it is.
Okay.
Just 100%.
Okay. Just
100%.
checking.
So just wanted to put it out.
Cocksucker.
Yeah, that's
Chris
right.
were hung-
That's right, bitch. That's exactly right.
If Chris were hung a little better and he could get it through a glory hole, he wouldn't care who was sucking his.
That's true.
You know what? Here's the thing. You're right. Okay. Are you happy? This is now going back to ex-wife number one. You happy that you're right, bitch? Are you happy? Okay. Because I fucking said it right down the goddamn day when I said, you're fucking right. Okay, Toots? Okay. All right, that's good. Now, can we go make some fucking dinner now? Is that okay? You want to go downstairs and make your fucking signature hamburger helper and fucking poison me and give me milk products so
Wally.
I fucking throw up all night? Is that what you want to do, Julie?
Wally.
Okay.
Wally, he's been triggered.
Wow.
Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? Why don't you
I
make me
didn't
go
realize
downstairs? Oh, good. I really want to watch the guy's butt fucking on Oz. That's what I want to do tonight, Julie. That's exactly what I want to fucking do. Let's do that, and then let's go upstairs and not fuck for 2 years. How about that?
Wow.
I'm done.
Something
I'm sorry.
happened
I'm
right
sorry.
there.
I'm
Wow.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Chris,
Sorry,
when's the last time you laid down on a couch for about 50 minutes?
It's been a little bit because my psychiatrist has not decided to come back into the office yet. He's deciding to keep it virtual. And if I wanted to talk to a computer, I would get out my fucking speak and spell. Okay?
Yeah, bro, I'm hitting my chest right. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
You get it. You get it.
I feel you, bro. Guys are so stupid with that stuff. When guys hug, like so when I hug. Two arms, hug. That whole I don't want to look like it. Let me hold your hand in between us so our chests don't actually touch, and I'll put my arm around you on
And
the
then
other
pound
side.
the back, so it's not really a hug.
Right. It's not really a hug because I don't want to look like I'm enjoying or I'm being emotional in any way. I want space between us so that people can see there's space.
Those are the same guys that say no homo.
What's that? No homo. What's
No
that?
homo.
No homo.
Homo, no homo?
I want to hug you, but I'm not a homosexual.
Oh. See, that's
I've never put a label up that says, now this hug is strictly platonic, okay? This is just you and me hugging it the fuck out. And we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay because we're not gay, right? Right, okay.
No
you know,
homo.
I have friends, men friends. I have female friends, but I tell my men friends I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I talk to Cisco, who you've met, Jess, I say, yeah, I love you, man. Yeah, I love you.
Cisco.
Pass love on to Marge too. That's his wife. And when I talk to my friend Dan, I say, love you, Dan. He says, I love you, man. Yeah, men have a lot of problems with saying things like that.
Yeah.
I fucking have no problem because I think if you understand or if you put the right meaning on the word, you know, love doesn't mean I want to get laid. It means, you know, I have strong feelings for you as a human being,
Mm-hmm.
right? Chris,
Yep.
where are you in the love category? You homophobe.
Listen, you go to the bowling alley, we're all huggy, feely, fucky, you know, there ain't nothing gay about it. That's just what we do. That's who we are.
And it should be, right? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing. See, now, would it be different if you guys bowled with balls that had holes in them
I don't know. I mean, that's like saying, it might be a little different if we fucked, but who knows?
Hey, that's what I'm wondering.
See?
That's what I'm not really wondering.
No, I didn't think you were, Wally. I didn't think he gave a rat. I didn't think he gave a rat's fuck. So
No,
that's
I really.
Word is.
I live in that zone. I live in the I don't give a fuck zone all the time. That's where I live.
It's a really good place to live.
It is. I don't give a fuck
It's
about.
a great neighborhood.
I just don't.
You've been living there for quite some time, Jess.
Yeah. I founded this neighborhood.
Oh, Jess, as long as I've known Jess, she's lived there. I think I've lived there. Yeah, it's just the best place to be.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking really is. Now I like that Chris refers to it as a neighborhood. I don't give a fuck neighborhood. Oh, Jess said that. I don't give a fuck neighbor. I like that. I like the
neighborhood to give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I live in that same neighborhood where I don't give a fuck. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Get your happy on.
If it doesn't affect me in any way, why the hell should I waste a fuck on it?
Yeah, I am so with you there, and I think that's why even in the worst of times, I'm fucking pretty happy dude. I just am a happy dude. I don't give a shit about what you're doing, who you do it with, what you are, what you fucking color your hair, how much you weigh, how tall you are, how old you are. Don't care. I don't fucking care because a long time ago, assholes are assholes all day long.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
And you giving a fuck about them assholing is not going to make them stop assholing.
It does not. They are still going to. They're still going to asshole.
Assholes are going to asshole. Yep.
They're going to asshole. Assholes are going to ass. Hey, there's a t-shirt. Assholes are going to asshole.
Yep.
God.
Jess.
We should have had one. We should have done that.
We got to make that t-shirt right there.
Okay.
Assholes are going to asshole.
Maybe one or two of our 34 listeners will buy one.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, we sell one shirt and maybe it'll be like, was it Fabergé? And then they'll tell two friends.
And so on.
And so on. So
Gee, your hair smells terrific.
And it just keep going. It just keep going. Everybody feel good. Everybody keep going.
You know what? I'm listening to Chris and I'm hearing a little George Bush and a little Mr. Rogers in there.
Well, there's no Bush anymore.
What?
Very manscaping.
Really?
Absolutely.
Do tell.
What do you mean, do tell? I fucking got out the trimmers and fucking took it to town. That's what happened. I mean,
did you take it right down to infant?
Baby's ass, baby.
You took it all down to it. Me, I'm a 70s porno movie.
Jesus Christ.
I am 70s porno, friend. I am au natural. And
how about that?
I'm living at Jess. You want to throw in or you want to let it be? I'm
going to let it be. There is nobody in this conversation qualified to have that information.
Oh, there's a qualification needed.
Say it.
What is the qualification?
You haven't passed any of the tests. You don't get to know the information.
Well, how about if I swipe right? Do I get to get the information then?
No.
Well, what's fun? It reminds me. I was listening to one of the shows I was listening to was Jess talking about that guy you met on one of the. You didn't meet him. The guy who went to visit his mother at the hospital, and Chris said the iron lung and all of that. And Chris was saying, "How many fucking dating apps are you on? Have you increased your dating app visitation?"
No, I've decreased it. I look once every, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something. But that reminds me that there have been a couple that I have shared with friends recently that I need to share with you, including the one that I screenshotted last night and sent to my friend that said, it has like a prompt that said, "We'll get along if," and this man wrote, "You like to export new things."
Export.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I like to import new things.
It means he's a dumbass. That's what that means.
And then there's this
I'm a
one from
dummy.
last week. I don't know if you can see this picture. Can you see the picture? Okay.
What a goddamn prize.
Carl is angry.
But here's what it says in his about me. I'd rather stick my dick in a meat grinder than to waste my time with the unworthy. And I was like, I mean, same, actually.
I'd rather stick my dick in a meat grinder than deal with some fucking Biden liberal. That's what I'm saying right there.
My guess is he's got no dick left.
Probably.
My guess is he voted straight red, too.
That's why he made that face.
Yeah. What the? Who? So this is what that guy, that's what he thinks is attractive to a woman of normalcy.
Who the fuck knows what men think? This is why I hardly ever look at the apps anymore.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jess, can you just put the phone down for a second? I want to talk to our studio audience and Wally for 1 second, okay?
Sure.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Hey, Wally,
Yes.
going back to what we were talking about earlier that we wouldn't get an answer from, I just want to encourage our listeners to take a look at that cartoon that's on our page and then think, you goddamn know the carpet matches the drapes, okay? That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. All right. Jess, are you back?
I'm back. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Want to make sure. Wanted to make sure. It's nothing I wouldn't have said straight to you anyhow.
No, I know. It's something that people have been asking redheads since they were 12 years old. It's not new.
I got 2 words for you, okay? Are you ready for them? Wally, you here?
I'm ready.
Wilma Flintstone. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Wilma Flintstone.
Okay.
So the first thing I learned about redheads was it wasn't what was the carpet match the drapes. That was not the first tee-hee I learned. I learned was she's got the fire down below. Do you
Or I've
remember?
heard the fire crotch. You heard that one?
Jesus Christ. My eyes are going to get stuck rolled in the back of my head.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
They're going to get stuck that way. Your mother would tell you.
Stop making me do that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there were all kinds. I'm not sure why there were so many ginger jokes about
Because there are
girls.
so few gingers.
Not if you watch fucking English television.
Well, no, they're more common overseas. They're in the UK, but in the US, I mean, I was the only redhead in my whole class. I was tortured for having red hair.
Were you really?
Tortured.
I can't even imagine that.
It wasn't until I got into high school when girls started paying money to get red hair. And I was like, wait a second.
My drapes match the curtains. Yours don't.
Wait a
That would be a
second.
hell of a
I
I got this shit for free.
Wow.
That's what we would have called Goodwill hair. The drapes didn't match the curtains. You got that shit at Goodwill. That's what he would have said. I first, I guess the first redheaded girl that I recognized. No, in first grade there was a girl I really liked who was a redhead, but I remember Susie Minor had the most unique red hair when I was in the 9th grade. It was sort of naturally highlighted with dark hair in it. So she had sort of very fiery red hair and these streaks of dark hair. And she was beautiful. Yeah, but I never thought of it as anything weird.
I never thought of it as anything as weird. And there was a weather guy in DC on the TV named Bob Ryan. Do you remember ever seeing him, Jess?
No.
Okay, Bob Ryan, older guy. He was on 4 and then went to the retirement home, also known as Channel 7. And he was doing a weather forecast on WMAL one time. And they were talking about high school nicknames. And the one guy says, yeah, my nickname was this. Bob, what about you? He says, well, when I was in school, they called me Peckerhead. And the room fucking explodes in laughter because he didn't realize what the fuck he just said on a middle of the road Barbara Streisand radio station.
Right.
And they're all trying to fucking walk themselves back out of that thing. And he keeps going, oh yeah, because I got a redhead, like a pecker bird or whatever the fuck he said. And I'm like,
A
Jesus
woodpecker?
Christ. No, he said pecker bird.
Did he
did not say
really?
woodpecker. He said pecker bird.
Pecker bird.
Pecker bird. Like the pecker bird.
So
Yeah.
now we know why he went to the retirement home station.
That's it, dude. Everybody that was good in DC eventually wound up at 7.
Hmm.
So everybody that was bad in DC wound up in Topeka.
You know what? I think that's the same was true in Boston television. That Channel 7, I think back then, was the CBS affiliate, and that's where the old folks went to die.
We had one bad station, one good station, and then like the station that was the zoo. Okay, Channel 4 was the good station. Channel 7, it got better, but it was like the retirement home and the number 3 station. And the CBS station, the Channel 9 News, was just a fucking madhouse.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fucking madhouse. They had a guy on named Glenn Brenner that did the sports. And Glenn Brenner, this woman, newswoman, J.C. Hayward, she was wearing this flowered dress that looked like a kimono. And
Flaherty?
Yes. And Glenn Brenner comes on and says, hey, listen, before we get to the sports, JC, the hostess at China Garden needs her uniform back. If you want to go ahead and get, I mean, and her laugh was so infectious. It was unbelievable, the shit that came out of that station.
Wow.
Local television is fantastic.
Even in DC.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The hot show, the hot channel in Boston Metro was WBZ TV, but they had Bob Lobel, they had Liz Walker, they had the fucking hottest news team and sports team, and they were just fucking head and shoulders above everybody else. And if you wanted to fucking be in TV, that was the place to be.
See, I had a friend that was on TV in Boston, but it was on what was that thing called? V66, the video music channel.
Oh yeah, there was a V66.
Yeah, and this thing did all music videos just locally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they had disc jockeys on there, kind of like MTV used to. And it was just nuts. My friend Perry Stone, used to do nights on that thing. And he would tell me about it. Here I am on TV and nobody knows where the fuck we are and that we're even broadcasting. And he's sitting there doing it.
So can I just make a correlation there?
Sure.
Wasn't you said Harry Stone at night?
No, P with Perry.
Oh, Perry. I thought it was Harry Stone because wasn't the night court judge Harry Stone?
Yes, that was Harry Stone. Very good.
I was putting those two together saying, are you fucking kidding me, Harry Stone?
That's got to be our obscure celebrity of the week is Harry Anderson. Very good.
Good timing, too, because we got to go.
I've got ham and mac and cheese to eat, and I'm hungry for it. I'm hungry. Jody made homemade mac and cheese, and I like homemade mac and cheese.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it is. All right, y'all. Chris, and I just want to say, you sound good. Do you have a dad joke?
No, not this week. I don't have anything prepared because the joke that I had is something that you can't possibly say on something like on a podcast, even though I saw it on TikTok. So, wow. I mean, I could try it. I mean, it's a Nazi knock-knock joke.
No, we better not do that this week.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
are you sure?
I'm pretty sure this is not the week for those kinds of jokes.
I mean, we just came off a week of a paraplegic joke, so
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know whether to let. And again, I didn't come up with this. I'm just relaying a joke. Okay, that was seen on the TikTok. So if you have any problems with this joke, you should probably talk to the Chinese because that's where it came from. Okay. So
okay, you know what? You've offended all the bad folks. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's one person standing with another. Okay, and the one guy looks at the other and says, "You want to hear a Nazi knock knock joke?" And he says, "Yeah, okay." So guy number one says, "Knock knock." Guy number two says, "Who's there?" Guy number one slaps number two across the face and says, "We will ask the questions."
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's no paraplegic walking joke.
No.
No.
Hell, that's not even anywhere near reality. So what the fuck? Oh God, I really want to walk.
I told Jess, Chris, I did vomit after that. I had laughed so hard that I vomited.
Hey, well, if you are vomiting, listen, Jess's brother's got great fucking advice that he can give you as to how to stop doing that. Okay?
Does he stutter?
No. Oh, no.
Oh, man. We're so fucked.
Well, yeah. 12 Ways to Sunday. And luckily that's today.
You wonder why we're never going to get a network show.
You wonder why we can't get that elusive 35th listener.
You think this is the fucking reason? You think that's it? Us sitting around telling Nazi knock-knock jokes or paraplegic jokes and gosh, let's
making fun of people with stutters and
equal opportunity.
We didn't even pay homage to the dead the shortly dead Suzanne Somers.
Mm-hmm.
God rest in peace.
We broke that news. Too bad we're not going to air this until another week, but
that's the issue. See, that's the issue. Maybe you should get on the fucking ball and edit these things quicker. Is that possible? Because maybe we could be timely.
I would be happy to send you the audio, Christopher.
And listen, you know what I'll do with the audio? Sit on it for 2 fucking weeks. So don't do that shit. Nobody will ever hear this show.
Fine.
Nobody will ever hear this. And by the time it's done, I will go through fucking AI and all that bullshit. Have your voices in there. You will have told the Nazi joke. Okay.
See y'all.
All right.
Bye guys.